So do you think that YouTubers are lying to you about the real cost of living here in Pattaya, Thailand? Well, it could be. People that are coming here telling you that you could live the luxury lifestyle for 1,000 US dollars. I don't think that's realistic. All right, so we're going to go over that. We're going to talk about how I handle my finances and what may be some good tips for you to do. I was talking to you in the last few videos about budgeting your money and what it takes to really live here comfortably, and the difference between, let's say, survival mode, a comfortable mode, and a luxury mode. And what do you think it's going to take for you to live the lifestyle that you want? One of the things that I keep talking about is how much money that I personally spend, let's say, on a given week, and what I put in my wallet. I normally pick a Saturday as a good example. Every Saturday, I top up my wallet with 5,000 baht. Now, don't get me wrong, if I have 1,500 baht in my wallet, then I add another 3,500, and so on. But a good example was last week, I didn't spend as much money. All right, so I had 3,500 baht left in my wallet. On Saturday, I decided I'm not going to add anything extra. I made it all the way until, I want to say, Wednesday. I stopped at a Pattaya Sportsman's Club and I found 2 new shirts. Well, this is one of them. They were 790 baht a piece. And so I bought 2 new shirts. Then the next day, I ended up going to lunch with a good friend. And then I ended up going to lunch with the guys. When it was all said and done that was yesterday, on Friday, I had 500 baht left in my wallet. I ate with the guys, spent 340. I still had, let's say, just under 200 baht left. Last night, I ended up going out with some fellow YouTubers, so I needed a little bit of extra money. So I went ahead and topped up to 5,000 baht. So here it is Saturday again, and I have to look in my wallet, but I think I'm going to be okay for the rest of the week. Now, when we were talking about that, I was talking to the guys about it, and one of our guys, he said, there's no way he could live on a 5,000 baht a week budget at all. He has a hard time living on 5,000 baht a day. So it depends on the lifestyle that you're going to lead and what you're going to do with that money. Right now, I'm not drinking alcohol, so that's saved me a tremendous amount of money. But if you're going to participate in daily nightlife and drinking a bunch of alcohol and things like that, things can get expensive. But it's not only alcohol and things like that are expensive. Let's say you're going to go golfing every day. Golfing's getting expensive too, especially now that it's high season. High season, prices go up. Okay. They really do, though. And to give you a good example is I participate in a monthly scramble out at Pattaya Country Club. This month, the prices went up 500 baht per 18 holes. Is that a lot of money for it to go up? Well, it's approximately $15 a round for it to go up. I think that's a lot of money. So the main thing that you have to figure out is what type of lifestyle that you're going to lead while you're here. And we're going to continue on and go over those lifestyles and what it may take for you to live here comfortably, or maybe in survival mode, or even in luxury mode. I get online all the time, and people are trying to sell you a dream that you can come here and live in Pattaya for, let's say, $1,000 a month. And that's going to be hard. It's doable. You know, I've talked about Warren, who lives in this building. He does it, but he has a lot of things that he's already paid for in advance. So he doesn't have all the day-to-day bills that you're probably going to have. But you have to figure out, can you live, or what's the minimum it's going to cost you to live? For me personally, when I think about this type of stuff, probably one of your biggest expenses is going to be accommodation. The newest condos out there, like the one that's right over here, they have these spacious 23 square meter rooms. What is that? Could you live in 23 square meters? Probably not. And especially if they break that down with walls and things like that, yeah, that's just ridiculous. You need to have at least, I'm telling you what, you need a minimum of 36 square meters and up. I get comments all the time that most people cannot live in a small unit like that. They came from someplace, let's say they were in the US or Europe, and they had, say, something equivalent 180 square meters or maybe even 300 square meters, okay, a big house with 4 or 5 bedrooms and lots of toilets and that type of stuff. Are you going to be able to survive here in a place like that, or are you going to have to do some compromising? That's the type of things that you have to figure out when you come here. Are you realistic, okay, in what your plans are for living in Pattaya, Thailand? I see all the time people advertising these great rooms, and then they get out on the balcony and they're looking at the middle of a tree line or something like that that's completely blocking their view. Is that what you want? You know, on the lower floors, you're going to deal with a lot of other issues that people don't think about all the time. People that are in these bigger condos, they get up on the higher floors and they have this great sea breeze. On the lower floors, you're dealing with maybe a blocked view, maybe mosquitoes coming in from your balcony or things like that, flying insects. So that's another option. Probably the second biggest item that I spend every month on is how much I eat, okay? And do you have dreams of eating lobster on the beach every night or things like that? Well, if you do, you're probably not going to afford that on $1,000 budget, okay? You're going to have to decide on what it's going to take for you to survive and what you're eating. Are you eating Western food or are you eating Thai food? If you are eating Thai food, is it lobster and shrimp and expensive things like that? Or are you eating street food or these small mom and pop shops where you're only spending $2 or $3 per meal? That's the choices you have to figure out. Now, as your budget increases, you can afford more, but you have to be realistic about what you can afford. Let me know in the comment section below what you normally live on, what your requirements are for living in Thailand. How big of a space do you need? How much do you think that you spend on a day just on food? I want to throw a couple shout outs. Shout out to Tim. He's a traveling man out of Fort Smith, Arkansas. And there was John. I met him up at For You Massage. Another good guy. Welcome, John. And then I ended up meeting a guy that was local here as well, Emerson. He lives at a condo that's near me. He's a Navy air traffic controller and a fantastic guy. So a shout out to a fellow brother veteran. Good to meet you, brother. And then another shout out to Mark, Bambino Americano. I appreciate that drink. Hey, if anybody else is interested in buying me a drink or anything like that, there's a link in the description below. You can check that out. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, that you're hitting the subscribe button. Hit the little bell next to it for future notifications of videos for what's coming up next. All right, let's press on. The things that I want you to think about when you're considering living on a budget. Of course, the number one thing is your accommodations, where you're going to live. And you have a big choice of that in Pattaya. I'm just assuming because you're here in a seaside resort town that you want a sea view. But if a sea view is not important to you, of course, going inland and not having a sea view, maybe a city view or a pool view or something like that, may be considerably cheaper. So that's something to think about. Another thing, of course, is food. And I went over that already with you. You have to decide on what type of food that you're going to want. Other things that you're going to have to think about is maybe entertainment. Are you planning on going out every night? You know, are you here to see girls or go out and listen to music every night? What are the things that you want to do? There's other things that people don't always consider, but things like health insurance, accident insurance, okay, transportation, your utilities, your data. You need to have Wi-Fi. You need a phone, okay, your cell phone service, things like that, your visas. You have to budget money to take care of the incidentals. There's going to be things that come up, just things that you want. You have to decide on whether it's a want or a need, something to think about. A realistic budget is going to be the key to your success and enjoying your adventure here in Thailand for sure. All right, so a realistic budget, I would guess, would be approximately $1,500 US or 45 40,000 to 50,000 Thai baht a month. That would be your base for basic accommodations and living on a very strict budget. Now, when you move into a comfortable budget, I think you could do it on $2,000, 60 to 70,000 baht a month, depending on your exchange rate. So you could live a more comfortable lifestyle and be able to do a few more things. But when you get into, let's say, a budget of 3,000 US dollars, somewhere between 90 and 100,000 Thai baht, then you kind of get into the luxury levels and you can do anything you want. Now, of course, more than that is even better. Those using these guidelines for budgeting will help you live a better life here, knowing what to expect. When you listen to people talking about living here, you can see in my old videos, I've talked to lots of people that live here on $1,000 a month. And as many of you can tell, and that will tell, $1,000 a month budget in Pattaya, Thailand, that's basic living, okay? Really, that's survival mode. You're limited on what you can do, and you definitely can't go out. You're probably gonna be limited to drinking very little, and you're not gonna be able to eat Western food hardly at all, okay? So those are the things to think about. Now, one of the last things I wanna bring up, everything I'm talking about are for expats or people that are coming here and living here for a long-term stay. I'm not talking about tourists that come over here and spend money. I'm talking about people that are living here full-time. Well, that's all I have for you right now. I definitely appreciate you hitting the big thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye-bye. Came down here to my pool, and there's several people down here. I'm gonna try to make sure that none of our residents here get in the video. But anyway, I just wanted to show that to you.